Today I'm going to be talking about why I think the Department of Treasury should move some of the government's funding into college to lower the cost and or make it free for some people, if not all. My first point is obviously the fact that college is very, very expensive. About 78% of college graduates have $25,000 to $30,000 in debt um, after they graduate, and for most people, they don't just stop at their bachelor's degree; they do go on to get at least a master's. And so and masters are even more expensive than bachelor's degrees. So that's a lot of money to not even have everything that you potentially may need. And another thing is that the average college graduate has to pay $270 a month to their student loan debts for 21 years. The average person does have a student loan debt for about 21 years, which is a long time. So 21-year-old kids graduating from college will be paying off their debt until they are 40 years old, which is a very long time to be paying off school debt. Another thing is that 40% of low-income high school students don't go to college, and a lot of them can't even get a loan. And about 51% of college students drop out due to cost, according to FoxNews.com. And that is a lot of kids that want to be there and they want to start a life for themselves, but they have to leave with a debt, but they can't continue on. And 51% is a lot. And since we are in a college class, that I assume that we are all going to college. So that means over half of us could potentially drop out of college because we do not have enough money to go to college, which is quite a few of us. And my next point is that America is falling behind on the world stage, is falling behind in the world stage. And places like Germany, which have free college tuition, have a 100% graduation rate from high school, which is crazy that they can get 100% of kids to graduate. And Finland also has free college and has a 95% graduation rate from high school. That is crazy. As where America, where we obviously do not have free colleges, we have to pay quite a bit. Actually, our graduation rate is only 75%, which, considering the amount of kids that go through that, is a lot of kids that don't even graduate high school. And I think that those kids that know they're not going to a college because they can't afford it probably give up very early and don't graduate. So if we made college more affordable and more open to everybody, I think that our graduation rates in high school would go way, way up. Next part is, according to Axios.com, the U.S. is falling behind in medicine. That's because recently our life expectancy in America has been going down. It's been going down for about 3 years, which is horrifying because not very many of us want to die. Like, that's a horrifying idea that our life expectancy is going down. And according to newscience.com, the U.S. fell short in medical advances compared to 10 other countries, including Germany and Finland, who both have free college. More people who have the opportunity to go and get higher educations and to learn more and to help take bigger strides on the world stage. And that comes to my next point is the U.S. needs more education. We don't need as many people as we do working at McDonald's or convenience stores. We need those people's brains to help us become a better nation, to strive, to help people live, to cure cancer, to do all the things that we haven't figured out yet. And there's a lot of people who can't afford to go to college who may be the people that could potentially figure out those answers. So those are my reasons as to why we need to lower the cost of college. And the plan that I thought of is the Department of Treasury can pull a lot of funding from a lot of super unnecessary places. Just for example, last year the government spent $3.25 million on the 4 living prior presidents, and that is a lot of money to spend on only 4 people when you have millions of kids trying to go to college. Those could significantly help those millions of kids going to college. And it's also super crazy that they're spending $3.25 million on 4 people who actually aren't even doing anything for us now. They're not the president anymore. They don't need to be, that much money does not need to be put into them. And another place that we can pull funding from is widows of former presidents get $20,000 a year. And for what? They never did anything. They were just married to the right man. And yes, it's horrible that your husband died. Yes, but if my dad died, my mom wouldn't get $20,000 a year from his company. I just think that is a horrible waste of money because, yeah, $20,000 isn't that much in retrospect, but over years, every widow, that is a lot of money. Another place we can pull funding from is former presidents get a pension that equals the cabinet secretary's salary. In 2018, that was $211,000 a year. So, if you think about it, that's $211,000 a year going to someone that is no longer benefiting the United States. They are no longer doing anything to help the country. So, that is pointless to me. That is a pointless place to put all that money yearly. Another place that we can get funding from is the U.S. General Services of Mission put aside money for former presidents' office spaces, and honestly, I don't know why they need an office, because what are they really doing? Barack Obama, they spent $84,000 on his office space, and Bill Clinton, they spent $511,000 on his office space, along with they also paid for the furnishing and office supplies. And I really struggle to wrap my mind around why former presidents need as much money as they're getting, because coming out of the presidency by itself, they have so much money in their pocket from campaigning. People throw money at them for campaigning. They make $400,000 a year in office, which most of it they don't really have to spend because they do live in the White House. They have things paid for. They use government transportation. They really don't spend that much of that money. So they're coming out of a 4-year term with all the money that they got from their election campaign, along with a minimum of $16,000, not including if they run for a second term, plus all that campaign money, plus another $16,000. They are coming off very well. They do not need $211,000 yearly, plus office spaces. That is stuff they can pay for by themselves. Like, yes, thank you for serving our country and doing everything you have done, but you're taking money away from things that they could be putting into way more important stuff, like college, like bettering our community. Another place that you can pull funding from is the military, and because in 2015 the military spent $598.5 million, and that is more than half of the $1.1 trillion that the government spends yearly, and that is a lot of money. That is a crazy amount of money to spend on one part of the U.S., and they spend it on defending non-existent threats most of the time, when we could be advancing and fighting threats that the military can't fight, like disease and pollution. The military can't fight that, but kids going through college, becoming smarter, can fight that. Another place that we can pull funding from is there are 800 military bases in about 70 countries, most of them being peaceful. And it really just does, I don't understand why we need to put 10 plus military bases in a peaceful country that is draining funds, that is draining resources, and so that is just, those are a million places that we can pull funding from, yearly funding from, that we can put into college, into helping people get to college, into everything that we need to do to make a better America, a better future, and we can do all that without raising taxes that much if we can just get funding from some of these very unnecessary places. And that is my persuasive policy speech. Thank you.